All right, folks, you are live with Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. It is Tuesday, a rainy Tuesday here in LA, folks. My backyard is almost flooded. My pond is overflowed. It's going down. It's coming down like a winter storm, folks. That's okay. From the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks. From eve after dark to concerts in the park. You're live with your boy Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop, in the dugout, on standby. My man. The Robin to my bad man, Mr. Dusty Vision. What's up with you, Doc?
Lonzo, my man. How you doing, brother?
You. Talk to me.
Man, how's this rainy day treating you, bro?
You know what? Like we said off screen, I've been getting a lot of work done. I got a program I've been working on for the longest. I've had it for about 2 years. I never really got into it. I'm getting into it, and I'm starting to enjoy it. So I've been making videos and commercials and all kind of stuff for the past week, off and on. So yeah, it's productive. It's productive. But I got
much needed. Lots to talk about, man.
Amazing, huh?
Go ahead. What were you gonna say, Lonzo? My bad.
When I can't go nowhere, I find something to do. I just can't sit there. That ain't what I do.
I envy those people who could sit down and just binge watch 6 hours of TV and watch 18 episodes of it. I can't. I could watch a good 1 or 2, but I got to get up. I got to do something. Like, I just can't. I'm no offense to people who can't. I just can't.
I have done it. When I first discovered Breaking Bad, I was stuck. Okay. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Go ahead. What we got, Doc?
Man, lots to talk about, but I want to first off bring up the big story this past weekend. You got to attend the Grammy Awards where NWA received the Lifetime Achievement Award. Talk to us about that night, man. How was the experience?
Man, it was very inspirational, man, and it was cool from start to finish, man. When I first got there, it was a long line. I mean, a long line of people out there, and I didn't know no difference. I just gave my car to valet, jumped in the line, got around to the registration booth, realized I was in the wrong line. I was in the VIP line, Doc. So I had to go to. I left the common folk line, got in the VIP line, where there was nobody at. There was nobody there, and as I was approaching the VIP line, there was a bunch of autograph seekers across the street. Security had them at bay, and most of them was looking for me or NWA. So I left one line with a lot of industry people, but I was supposed to be in the celebrity line. And when I hit that VIP line, the VIP section registration, I got treated like a VIP. I must have took pictures and signed autographs for at least a good 10, 15 minutes. And I just had to break away and go inside and see what was happening, dude. It was really a good experience. And after the show, we all went backstage and took pictures. Cube left before I got a chance to get back there to him, but me and Ren had a chance to have a conversation. And that was something that was really interesting because Ren is one of the quietest members of NWA. He don't do interviews. Oh, yeah. We talked about this. He don't do interviews. And I say, Ren, I asked him, I say, Ren, were you at my house back in the day? He said, yeah, and I was all the time, but easy. I said, well, you must not have done no dumb shit because I don't remember you being there. And he's just a laid-back dude. And even right now, I mean, that his current lifestyle goes to pay testimony to what I was saying. He don't do dumb shit. He just chills out. He and I have the same birthday. Him, and Tupac all the 16th of June. And we laughed about that. And DOC was standing there. DOC's a Gemini as well. So we all just sitting there kicking, got a picture together. And it was just a cool event, man. I really enjoyed it. I was proud of my fellas, man. And it's all good. Dre didn't show up, of course, but, you know, it was all good anyway.
Yeah, I listened to Ice Cube's acceptance speech. It was pretty funny. He threw a little joke in there. Yep. Dre's a billionaire. He ain't got time. Basically, he got other shit to do.
Yeah, so it's all good.
Did you watch the show live? The whole show?
No. On Sunday?
So how does it work? I'm not familiar. Did they just give the award that day? Or?
On Saturday, where I was at, they just gave the awards for the Lifetime Achievement Award. There must have been about 35 or 40 people got awards that day. Gladys Knight got a Lifetime Achievement Award. Donna Summers got one. Everybody else, I didn't know. I didn't recognize nobody else. They was cello players and engineers and other folks from the industry who received lifetime achievement awards for other feats other than being NWA. And once they gave NWA their award, and Gladys Knight and the folks I recognized, I ready to boat out. So that's what I did. I boned out.
You mean you aren't interested in who played the cello in that one dance song back in January?
That's that bullshit. Nah, I was not play the cello, the oboe, none of that shit. Nah, my fellas, we backstage hanging out, taking pictures. Now I'm gone.
That's what's up. You know what? Derek Mallory brought it up. He says, congratulations to Killer Mike. Killer Mike had a good and a bad night that night, unfortunately. For anyone who doesn't know, and I'm so proud of this guy because I'm a big Killer Mike fan. That Michael album is a masterpiece when it comes to hip hop. Anybody out there who likes true lyricism and hip hop, I even think you would enjoy this album, Lonzo. It's very Outkast-ish because he comes from the Outkast tree. Killer Mike did a lot of songs with Outkast back in the day, but he swept his categories, won 3 Grammys, which is so amazing for hip hop. But I guess the bigger story, unfortunately, with Killer Mike was that he was also arrested that night for alleged battery, a situation. I'm still not hip to it. Maybe you can tell me anything you've heard in the past, day, because I haven't heard much about it other than it's a battery. But, what do you see? What do you feel when you see Killer Mike, let off in handcuffs after winning 3 Grammys?
That would only happen to a black man, but it happened to nobody else at the Grammys.
Exactly.
Anybody else. Nobody else would win 3 Grammys and leave in handcuffs.
When you say that's some bullshit, Lonzo, and I'm sorry, I don't usually like to cuss. I'm putting some emphasis on that. It's some bullshit.
Will Smith slapped 2 Shades of Black off for Chris Rock and sat down in his chair and got his Grammy later on, his Emmy Award. He slapped 2 Shades of Black out of Chris Rock and set his ass back down. Come on, man. Come on. I don't know what Killer, and whatever it did, it couldn't have been that bad. They let him go the same night. But it was enough to embarrass him on his main night. Biggest night of this man's life. 3 Grammys. I don't know who's done that lately. I don't recall nobody from the rap industry doing that.
Hip hop wise, no, maybe Kendrick. I think that was the last one, and that's 3
amazing. Of them in one night, and somebody decided he said something or did something that was so vile that you couldn't overlook it or postpone it till later on. You had to escort him out of the arena in handcuffs. That's some bullshit. That's some, man. They said it was an overzealous security guard or something or another. This man just won 3 Grammys. He's hyped up. He's fired up, dude. Could you imagine how elated he was to be in that position in his life? He's like 40-something years old and winning the Grammys for hip hop. And hip hop is always said to be a young man's musical format, which I think is bullshit. But nonetheless, Mike came in, swept the Grammys. I have not heard much of his music. What I heard, it was cool. I'm not mad at it. I'm a Killer Mike fan from his political standpoints. Okay, I watch him on Bill Maher. Watched him on Bill Maher.
Killer Mike for president on me.
Huh? Say what? Bill, you said Killer Mike for president?
I said Killer Mike for president in the future. I mean, I'm thinking that in the future, hopefully.
Okay. Derek Barris, he's 48. He'll be 49 in April. All right, so that's a good thing, Doc. So here's a brother of that generation that has a good understanding of, how things go from both sides of the fence. But again, this misdemeanor that was so vile, because it was a misdemeanor, it had to be, that was so vile, he had to be escorted. Understand this. Saturday morning, I'm in Compton, and I'm videotaping a town hall meeting. In videotaping this town hall meeting, there was a representative from the sheriff there, a buddy of mine, a sheriff deputy that was there. And they were talking about how because of the state legislature has changed so many laws, it's almost handcuffed the police to a certain degree to prosecute or to pursue certain situations. One of the examples he gave was that if they catch somebody in a stolen car, they get a ticket and go home in the stolen car. Okay? And I'm trying to figure out, how is it that somebody can steal your car, get caught riding in the car, and get a ticket, But whatever this man did, nobody has claimed nobody has claimed he whooped their ass. Nobody, no females claim he whooped their ass. Nobody
We're
is
2 days
claiming.
later. We still don't know what's going on, right? We still don't
Nobody
know the
don't know.
story.
This shit is a bigger mystery than what had Jamie Foxx sick. Nobody knows. Okay, nobody knows what got Jamie Foxx sick, and nobody really knows the reason why Killer Mike was handcuffed at the Grammys. And what I'm saying is, people in law enforcement are picking and choosing what they want to enforce. I don't know why that is. I have no idea. I think it's kind of unfair. I don't know what it was. I don't know whether it was a. They said it was an overzealous security guard. That I don't know. Security guard don't have that kind of power. A cop had to put the handcuffs on him. I mean, the security guard could have put the handcuffs on him, but they ain't gonna stay on no time. Okay. Again, what happened? It didn't make the news. The only thing made the news was him walking out in the handcuffs. Okay.
Exactly, bro.
Whoever ass he whooped, let's say it was an assault, a battery. I'm sorry, it was a battery. Okay. That means you whoop somebody's ass or you put hands on somebody. Okay. Ain't nobody claimed they got their ass whooped. Killer Mike ain't broke. Ain't nobody filed no lawsuits. I ain't seen nobody on Instagram that got a video. I mean, many phones is in the SoFi Stadium, or I'm sorry, in the crypto theater that night. Ain't nobody got nothing on video. Ain't nothing popped up yet. When Will Smith lapped the shit out of Chris Rock, that shit was all over the internet in minutes. People were screen shooting screen shooting the television, had that shit posted on YouTube in a matter of seconds. I don't understand it, dude. I'm gonna let it go.
Yeah, I'm really interested. I'm sure next week we will talk about his response or whatever comes to be this week. But let's jump into the Niggaverse, Lonzo. Ooh. And before we do that, I want to tell everybody to stick around. We have a great interview towards the end of the show, around 6:40. Our dude Bamino from Another Level is going to be joining us. He is from a rap group from the 90s, signed to Priority. One of those unsung heroes. They had a dope album, and, you know, we just want to give them their shine while they're here. Very interesting story. So make sure you guys stick around. But let's go to the Niggaverse. Lonzo, you got any, got that song for me? Give me that.
Drizzle, 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 drone. Time for this one to come home.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's come home, baby. Our girl, the queen or the princess, we still haven't figured it out, of the Niggaverse. She just had her baby, Sexy Red, just gave birth. And her last picture before giving birth was of her sprawled out on the hospital bed, Lonzo. She was throwing up the blood sign in front of her vagina that her baby is about to come out of. That was her last picture. Not only that, her first tweet after she had the baby, this is her first tweet exactly. It was her standing in the delivery room, and it said, "Me waiting to get discharged from the hospital so I can hit the block with the guys." And shout out to OG Steve. Thank you, my dude. Yeah, man. Yeah, she says she wants to be discharged from the hospital so she can hit the block with the guys, Lonzo. Not hang out with her baby, not breastfeed, not take pictures. She wants to hang out the block with the guys. Talk to me, man.
Well, you know what, man? This kind of publicity stunt pretty much proves my point that people will do and say anything to go viral. The baby's name ain't an issue. Whether it was a boy, wasn't it? It was a boy or girl.
I haven't got that far. I don't know.
Okay, see, nobody don't know that. Nobody don't know whether it's a boy or girl. All they know is she had.
I just saw the blood sign by her vagina. That's all I know.
She put the blood sign by the vagina, and that's what everybody's going to talk about. The fact whether the baby was healthy or not an issue. Okay, whether it was a boy or girl, not an issue. It's just amazing, man, that the internet has created these irrelevant people, and you make them relevant by doing dumb shit, and dumb shit is the new currency. And that was some dumb shit. Like I said, man, I say this over and over again. The phrase contributing to the delinquency of a minor has not been used in the 2000s that I've ever heard it anywhere used. And that's what you're experiencing in a lot of ways, man. Somebody had a baby. And where this newborn gonna be where you got on the block? You got a nanny? Probably, well, maybe she do have a nanny. But how could you just abandon your baby and you gonna hang out on the block? What kind of mama? Don't she already have a kid though?
I'm afraid that she does. I'm afraid that she does.
Yeah. So you got somebody who's already been an irresponsible mother, and she's strictly for the money, and she's a corporate. I think she's a plant. I'm sorry. I think she's a plant. I think she's a plant, industry plant. I really do. Maybe she's not, but I sure think she is.
Go deeper into that, Lonzo. Please break that down, because I have certain theories about certain people who are put here to mess shit up and make us look bad.
Well, they put the money. Well, I was here. I was listening to Candace Owens, of all people. Okay. I'm listening to Candace Owens the other day, and Candace Owens was talking about how she did some research and found out that the guy that runs her label is a young black dude. Okay. Young black dude, come from a real good family. And I forgot the name of his label, but he's a square looking dude. Looked like he just was on the Buster bus all the way through school. But he understands that there is a certain clientele or a certain market that she appeals to. And they ramming her down your throat. She is the basic, for lack of a better word, she's the basic hood rat.
Yep.
She's your basic hood rat. Okay, and hood rats need representation too. Hood rats need representation too, and that's why I think she's a plant. Because if you listen to her music, it don't have nothing. It has no musical value whatsoever. Lyrically, it's some ABC bullshit. This shit is just shy of a Dr. Zeus book. Okay, this shit
it's bad, bro.
It's just shy of a Dr. Zeus book. And I was talking about this morning with my nephew, man. We talk about things like this on a regular basis. When you brought up Dramatics, Barry White, Isaac Hayes, Tina Marie, Prince, Michael Jackson, Quincy Jones, when you brought up on productions that are so musically appealing to the ear, and now you only grew up, now your what you've been exposed to is some of the most basic bullshit, basic basement bullshit you ever seen in your musical life. But again, this is one of my theories, and I could be wrong, but I don't think so. If you were brought up in a situation and you've been eating, let me say something. You've been eating lizards all your life, and somebody give you a steak or some corn, you swear they was trying to kill you. Okay? And when you feed people something, they don't know no better. All they know is, it's like, well, better still, I'm not even gonna go there. People been drinking dirty water all your life. You've been going out to the creek and getting a plastic cup, and the water be brown as shit. Or better still, you in Detroit and drinking brown water. All of a sudden, you come to Cali and the water is clear. You don't know how to deal with that. That ain't what you're used to. You're used to drinking brown water. You ain't never drank water that was clear. So therefore, in your mind, that water could not be good for you. Whereas on the other hand, because you've been drinking clear water all the time, you're not gonna drink no brown water. And that's the talking about a taste and choice. That's the taste and choice. Well, you've been brought up drinking clean, crystal clear water all your life, and somebody try to give you some brown water and tell you, hey man, this is the new water. Bullshit. Okay. And that's what we're dealing with. But on the other hand, you got kids, this is all they're gonna know. They don't know nothing about, they know of Tupac, they know of Big Daddy Kane, they know of KRS-One, but they're not in their wheelhouse. So they're gonna be stuck reciting
pussy hole pink and my booty brown.
Yeah, they're gonna be stuck doing that shit. What can you say?
Yeah. Let's parlay that into a tweet that I saw this week from an independent rapper who is doing his damn thing. He's been doing it independently for a while. He goes by the name of Russ. He's lyrically bar heavy, everything. But this is kind of along the lines of what we are just discussing right now, Lons. He says, the younger generation has really let numbers dictate what they think is good or not. No original thoughts of their own. Just, hey, look at the numbers. This means it's the best. All while failing to realize that more than ever, numbers are being faked. Group thinkers are running rampant. I encourage everyone to think for themselves and let their own taste influence their opinion, not numbers. When you hear that, what do you think, Lance?
He's totally right, man. They tried to say they used to say numbers don't lie. Bullshit. These new numbers lie like a digital age. Numbers lie like a son of a gun. When you can have millions of followers but can't sell no tickets, you're supposed to have all these streams, but nobody want to hear your shit. When you look up and you see and you hear about, I've seen videos of streaming farms.
Little Baby. Oh, streaming farms, yeah. Tekashi 6ix9ine streaming farms, all that.
You know, they got streaming farms all over the world, and all you gotta do is give somebody some American dollars, and they'll run your shit up. Whether it be your Instagram likes, whether it be your Spotify streams, whether it be whatever, they'll give you what you want for a few dollars. Okay, and that's what we experience in a lot of ways. So now you can look. I mean, you can buy your popularity. Understand what you're doing. You can buy your popularity. You can buy popularity, and if you get any kind of luck in the meantime, you can end up with a pile of money, and just like them island boys, you know, dude, you know, another waste of a digital space. So it is what it is, man. You can't believe these numbers like you used to, dude. When there was sound scan and there was physical product, and you could actually, you know, somebody at a plant had to ship these records, to ship these CDs, or ship these cassettes. They knew that a certain amount of these things, it was actually sold. It was 2 million was made. Okay. But now you don't know how many of these things. Then even the people that's making money on this shit ain't being honest with you. You know, Spotify, they ripping your ass off. So you could be having billions of streams and you don't get paid for them anyway. So what difference do it make? Hey, we're in a different kind of time.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. We have a lot of people in the chat. A lot of people are touching on Carl Weathers, Lonzo. I don't know Carl Weathers from much other than from obviously being Apollo Creed, you know, going back to my day. But what do you know, or what would you remember about Carl Weathers in general, who recently passed away, by the way, R.I.P.
R.I.P. Carl Weathers was an ex-football player, man. He played football for a hot minute, and he got into acting. And he played in a crazy-ass movie called Action Jackson with Vanity. Vanity was a fine-ass heroin junkie. And he was a private detective that was trying to solve a crime, and he needed her. And it was horrible, but it was good too. You got to see Vanity half naked. Of course, he was Apollo Creed. He played a lot of. He was that a replacement for Jim Brown after Jim Brown got older. You know, when Jim Brown was young, he was that dude. Okay, Carl Weathers was a big dude. He was buffed. He was cut. You know, good-looking brother. Never saw him in a dress. You know, he had a real macho appeal to him. And when he beat up Sylvester Stallone a couple of times, you know, he was the man. I don't recall him being in a television show, but he did quite a few movies. You know, he played a couple army movies. He was like that black man's man type situation, Doc. He was that kind of dude.
He was in Predator. That's right. Thanks, Art Chavez. He was in Predator. That's right. I remember him from Predator also. Right.
So he was in some pretty decent movies. And like I said, he was the one of them brothers, man, that, you know, kind of catch you, want to kick it with, you know, have a beer with him, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So he appeared to be a good dude. I don't recall him being in no scandals. I ain't never heard him, you know, cuss nobody out. I don't know much about his personal life, but I never heard nothing about him. And, you know, you hear about everybody's life these days. So he's never been on the internet gazette, you know, whooping nobody. So he all right, I guess.
Yeah,
him and John Amos, one of my two favorite older. Well, I like Samuel Jackson, of course, too. But as far as older dudes that was been around for a minute, that's always maintained they cool. Sam Jackson and Carl Weathers, two of my favorites.
Yeah, man. R.I.P. to that, man. Let's see. Let's keep it pushing, Lonzo. You know, OG Steve, since he donated, let's get to his question. He says, "Did y'all hear about the migrants who beat up the police officers in New York City and was let free the next day with no bail. I think he was parlaying off what we were talking about earlier with crimes being, a little slap on the wrist nowadays. Did you hear about that, Lonzo? And more, and also talk about this too, real quick. Did you hear about NYC giving $53 million in prepaid credit cards to migrants as well? I would love your thoughts on that.
I heard about that supposed to be happening. I didn't know it was done.
Oh, it's
I didn't know it was done.
Signed, sealed, and approved. I don't know if they've gotten the physical card yet, but it's signed, sealed, and approved.
I was watching something the other day. I think it was one of these states would start with an M. They're about to give put child support on cards, like EBT cards, and you can't buy certain things with them. I
like that. They should have did that 30 years ago.
Huh?
Should have did that 30 years ago.
That would change the game. Okay, you don't get no money. You get a card. But again, here you go again, Doc. Somebody give you a card, just like wait a minute, hold on. Just like with food stamps, okay, or EBT. You got, somebody getting 20,000 a month on their card. They're gonna find a way to cash that out. They're gonna find some way to cash that out. Okay.
Oh, you already know.
Yeah. So if you're getting 20, 30,000 a month on your card, it's gonna be somebody that's gonna find a way to maneuver that. Or give me 10 cents or 90 cents on the dollar or some shit. I don't know. 80 cents on the dollar or something. But it damn sure will be some way to play around that. That been happening, but I haven't heard. I heard that was supposed to happen, but I didn't know it was in full effect yet. And how much? Did anybody know how much per card they were going to get?
Not sure. But I find it very interesting, and so do a lot of others that Black folks are still waiting for reparations. Not saying I'm just throwing that out there. We're still kind of sitting in the back waiting for our terms.
I was thinking the other day, man. We was talking, me and my nephew as always, and we're talking about some of the things that happened in our country. And do you know if we did some of the things that America did, we'd be arrested? Could you imagine borrowing money from one neighbor to give it to another neighbor, and your kids ain't got nothing to eat? Your kids living in the streets. Okay?
Exactly.
You actually you in debt to China. We in debt to China, up to Yang Yang, giving money to Ukraine and everybody else, and whatever the case may be. Meanwhile, we got streets filled with people with no place to live, and corporations owning the property. People can't afford to live in it, and everything is all good. And it ain't all good, Doc. That don't make no sense, man. If America was a mother, in some way she might be considered unfit. She might be considered unfit.
Very unfit. They took America's kids a long time ago.
They said it was estimated. I think it was, I don't know, 4 or 5 billion would cure homelessness in America. I don't know. I'm not sure if that number was accurate, but 4 or 5 billion would cure homelessness in America. Okay, we didn't give hundreds of billions to everybody except our own. Okay. I was recently at an event. I'm, being the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce. I'm all kind of places, man. I'm in places I never thought I would be. I ran into a home manufacturer that was based in Pasadena. They have tiny homes, like 350 square feet, 400 square foot homes, folding homes. They look like containers when you get through with them, but they start off about I don't know, about 18 inches tall, but when you unfold them, it's a full size house, full size 1-bedroom house, bathrooms, windows, doors, sliding doors, all kind of shit. And these things, they retail for like $25,000. Well, I said, well, that's a great deal. What's the problem? The problem is it costs $40,000 in paperwork. That's your problem. To build an ADU, it's $40,000.
Makes sense.
Unless it's some kind of
Los Angeles wants their cut.
Huh?
LA wants their cut. The city wants their cut too.
Right. $40,000. No, come on, man. Come on, dude. Huh?
That's crazy.
It's $40,000 to build an ADU. So you wonder, even if I wanted to build a ADU at my house, okay, I would need 40 grand. Just that ain't including the nail, no wood, no labor. That's 40 grand just in paperwork. But they'll finance it for you though. They can get financing for it. Come on, man. That's just ridiculous. That's just greed at its utmost. Okay, you got people living in the street, especially right now, dude. You know, could you imagine being homeless right now in all this rain? Everything you got is soaking wet. Tent ain't cutting it right now. A tent ain't cutting it right now, dude. And at any given moment, my backyard was any given moment where you at can be flooded. My backyard was flooded a few minutes ago. I got a pond in my backyard. We had to pump the pond out. We had to pump the pond and keep the pond from overflooding the backyard. But pumping the pond out, you still got backyard flooded. So if you homeless someplace, and over here, not far from where I live at, boy, the water get real deep on Vermont. So yeah, Doc, that's just ridiculous, dude. You wonder why we got the problems we have.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, in about 10 minutes, everyone, we're going to bring on our guest, Bamino from Another Level, from the 90s rap group, Another Level. Signed a Priority, very close ties to Ice Cube, Tone Loc, Layla, R.I.P. It's going to be a great conversation. We're going to talk about one more thing before we bring them on. But before we do that, please hit that like button if you haven't already. And if this is your first time joining the channel, please hit that subscribe button if you like what you hear. You are tuned in to NWA Stories with Lonzo. I am Dusty Vision. That is the godfather of West Coast hip hop, LONZO Williams. And shout out to the chat. Lonzo, this is what I would love your thoughts on before we bring our guest on. 6 members of O Block, a neighborhood in South Side Chicago, were found guilty of the murder of FBG Duck this past week. Now, we discussed FBG Duck at length a couple years ago when this happened. Now, give me about a minute and a half to remind everyone of the FBG Duck situation. The area he lost his life in is called the Gold Coast. It's basically the Rodeo Drive of Chicago, Gucci, Prada, stores like that. But he was out shopping for his son. And he thought he was safe. Little did he know that his enemies had the drop on him. And long story short, they shoot him 20 times on this ritzy part of Chicago. I went there shortly after it happened to do a story about it, and it literally looks like Rodeo Drive. But this is all caught on tape, Lonzo. Not only that, the video cameras literally followed the killers from O Block to Gold Coast, camera by camera. They caught them running down the stairs on a camera. They caught them hopping into the car on another camera. They caught them getting on the freeway in another camera. They caught them exiting the freeway, caught them driving to the Gold Coast on a camera, caught them getting out of the car, caught them shooting FBG Duck, all on different cameras. Literally just followed them all the way there and followed their asses all the way back to O Block up until they were celebrating about the situation. But they were eventually arrested, went to trial, and were all found guilty this past week. Lonzo, 6 black men in prison for life, another black man dead, 7 black men who will never live a normal life again, that will never procreate. Talk to me about your thoughts and hindsight on the situation.
You know, bro, first of all, I'm trying to figure out why take 6 men to get 1 man. Did he piss all 6 of them off?
He released a lot of very disrespectful songs, specifically one that was titled Dead Bees. And I'm not going to say the word, but it rhymes with itches. And he literally called out all of his ops in very disrespectful ways. We've talked about the disrespect that went in. This is where it started in Chicago. And he had a lot of enemies, yes.
So what we're saying is stupid begot stupid. That's what we're talking about. Stupid begot stupid.
Pretty much.
When you play certain games with certain people, what they say, when you play dumb games, you get dumb results. You win dumb prizes. Okay. When you play dumb games, you win dumb prizes. Dude, I don't understand why it's relevant, important to exchange your life, your freedom for somebody else's life. Your freedom cannot mean that much to you if you were willing to exchange it for somebody else's life. I mean, because his words, that's basically what he said, a bunch of words that cost you your life. You took his life and they took your freedom. Meanwhile, in the 6 guy, all 6 of them actually shoot him, or just it was a couple of shooters and and 4 standbys.
Pretty much that's the case. Yeah, driver, the one that rode along. Hey, I'll come too. And yeah, now they're all
Yeah, and I don't want to see I don't want to see none of that. But my baby, I don't hear that bullshit. I don't hear that bullshit. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it because it don't make no sense, man. We still do playing the same games that we've been playing for 50 years. Ain't nobody won the game yet. Nobody winning but the penal system. Nobody wins but the penal system, the legal system. That's the only person win. You got, like you said, 6 brothers that will never procreate. They're through with money, heterosexual sex, and steaks for the rest of their life. Okay, those are 3, and driving. Okay, they will never drive, have heterosexual sex, have a need for money, or eat a steak again. Okay, it's done deal. It's a wrap. Okay, all for what? For some bragging rights. And that's one of the things I've never understood about that mentality is that bragging rights are so important to little people. Talking big is very important to little people. Because obviously you had no money. You couldn't hire a lawyer. You was pretty much all them cameras. First of all, you're not that educated if you're trying to pull a crime anywhere in a affluent neighborhood like that. You can't be that smart. You just did some stuff based on emotion. You got 6 people that hyped up 6 people to kill 1 person, not understanding the logistics or what you're trying to do, and not realizing that there's a good chance you're going to get caught. Or if you didn't care if you got caught because you got so many friends in jail, y'all going to kick it anyway. Which means somebody is going to be the bitch. Somebody going to be the bitch. I'm just saying.
Somebody's going to be watching somebody's draws. Out of 6 people, at least 1 or 2 of them are going to be watching somebody's hair.
Somebody is hitting the knees to please, okay? And that's just keeping it 100. Hey, man. If that's what you do you, boo-boo. I'm out. What we got next? Give me something I can handle that makes some sense.
Yeah, man. Real talk. Real talk. Let's dive into some old school hip hop, man. We got a few more minutes before we bring on our guest. Let's see what we got. See what we got. Someone wants to know if you heard about the takeover recently at Ruben's Bakery in Compton.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with
Stem Radio. Shout out Stem Radio.
Much love, Stem. I'm very familiar with Ruben's Bakery, and they caught those people. They caught them. It was a takeover about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and again between the cameras. And folks, somebody got caught and they started singing like the Temptations. La, la, la. He did it. She did it. He was with me. He was the driver. They caught them all. To my understanding, they caught them all. Yes. And again, man.
Good. I love hearing that.
Why do you steal from a bakery? What, you gonna steal some dough? It was a
literally they were like, "Hey, dog, let's go get some dough." No, I think you meant the wrong dough, homie. The dough is in the bank, not in the bakery.
Steal some donuts, man. Okay. What is your mentality that makes you think that makes any sense? I don't understand that, dude. That makes no sense whatsoever. You decide that it's going to be a good idea for a bunch of people to back in. I mean, I saw the video. They backed in this place multiple times trying to break the door down, broke the door down, went in there, and the driver of the car was in the camera like, hey, I'm here. I'm like, you poor young dumb fool. But again, these people won't get no help until they do dumb shit. This is one of the problems we have in our country overall, dude, is that I say this all the time. If you're an A student, they have all type of programs for you to go to college, excel in life, blah, 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 get mentorship so you can excel. If you're an F student, they got all kind of programs to bring you up to a C or a B or whatever, or even a D student, whatever, something that's going to pass muster. But if you're in the middle, there's nothing for you, no assistance for you in most cases. Now, I'm not saying these kids are A, B, or C students, but I'm just saying when you look at a lot of these youth today, they don't have nothing to do but video games and dumb shit. They don't have nothing to do but video games and dumb shit. They're at an awkward age, man, because you can't put them in a wholesome old school teenager environment because they're thinking like criminals. Okay, What I did at Dudos, I wouldn't even consider doing it again, Doc. It was rough back then. Nowadays it's horrible. You know, I did my events. I've done hundreds of events over the past 40 years, and dude, I ain't lost a kid yet. I wouldn't want to put my reputation on the line in this day and time. I'm done with that. But again, so many people feel the same way. Where could you, no matter what you try to instill in them as youngsters, you still got to fight against the internet and other social situations that they encounter on a daily basis. That's a hard tug of war, Doc. That's a hard tug of war, especially if they're not your kid. Man, kid get to cussing you out. Ain't nothing worse than get cussed out by a kid. The words hurt a lot more. Oh my God. Man, come on, dude. You know, some little snotty-nosed kid, 13, 14, talking crazy to you. Come on, dude. I can't do that. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's bring our guest on, man.
All right. I see him in the dugout.
He's in the dugout. Let's give him a proper introduction real quick. He is from the legendary rap group from LA. I remember this CD. We talked about it on my program, Dusty Vision TV, not too long ago. They were doing their thing on the underground. They were signed to Priority in the 90s. Another level. We got my man Bamino. Bring him on. What up, dude?
What up? What you got? Welcome to the show.
What's good, man? Can y'all hear me? Is everything?
We got you.
Peace, Lonzo.
Yes, sir.
Dusty, thanks for having me. Y'all see I had to properly place the W-A. Can you see the dub in the back?
I see it in the corner over there, twisted in the middle, baby.
I love that, homie. I love that. Good to see you, man. Looking great, brother. Happy 2024 to you, man.
Same to you, man. Health and happiness to both of you, man. Many more years, man. Love what you guys are doing. Thanks for having me. Dust, we did a cool show. People really love what we put together. And I'm glad y'all having me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was real fun. Let's go ahead, Lance.
That was near and dear to my heart, man. He said you were tight with Laylaw.
Laylaw is, man, that's my mentor, man. That's my big homie. Me and Laylaw were very close. We spent a lot of time in the music business. Of course, he put us on. He put me on and taught me the game. And just in life, man, we became brothers. He was my big bro. And, you know, we talked a lot about real estate. We talked a lot about life and children. And, you know, I did a documentary called Music Made Me Do It. I made sure to shout him out in that documentary a lot and gave him his own little part because he was that, you know, he meant that much to my career and my life. And, you know, was just a great dude. And he put me under his wing, man. And I miss the big homie a lot.
You know, me and Laylaw, I brought Laylaw into the music game. I met him. He was at McCullough. And we were kicking him. I brought him to the studio. He never left. He credited me with bringing him into the music industry. That's how we did. Most of the time we sit around and talked about music, about the music game. He had his label, Rolex Records.
Wow.
And we went our separate ways for a while. Always stayed in contact. But for some reason, when I wrote my book, I didn't think about Laylaw. I mean, I felt so bad. He called me, Lonzo, I got your book, man. I don't see my name nowhere in it. Dude, I wanted to just, dude, of all people, I didn't touch on Laylaw.
Put him in the next one, man. Put him in your life story, whatever, man. I know he got love for you because I heard your name a lot.
Yeah, we had a lot of love for each other. He called me, Laylaw called me a week before he died, dude. I was leaving, maybe it might have been 2 weeks. I was doing my Sunday morning walk. I just did a Facebook Live like I always do. Lonzo, I just saw you on the Facebook Live, big homie. I'm going to get out of this hospital, man. I'm going to come to walk with y'all, man. They're like, we got a spot for you, Doc. Next thing I know, I get the phone call. I'm like, God damn. Yeah.
Man, you know how strong he was, and he didn't like to talk about that kind of stuff. He hit me that same week. Me and Suave, my manager Suave. I know you know Suave.
Yeah,
you know Suave, who managed Far Side, managed Exhibit and the Licks. Me and Suave we were supposed to go up to the hospital, up to Cedars, man. But Law was like, "Don't worry, man. If you can't make it, I'll be out in a week or so." So I thought it was like the last time where he, you know, they cut the cancer out, he beat it, and he was shit, we was back at Cheesecake Factory celebrating him beating it. He was such a strong dude. I thought that I feel so bad for not going up there, man. I still regret that I didn't make my way up there. But
I know feeling that.
The memory that I have of him, I think, was the one I want to keep. And that's when I saw him at we saw him at the Cheesecake Factory, and he got to meet my son for the first time. And Tone, Logan, Suave, all the West Side Tribe was there. We took a lot of pictures, and we got to really embrace each other, man. And yeah, he'll be missed, bro. Hip hop legend. Hip hop.
Was you at the service?
Yeah.
I should have seen you there. I was there too. I was there.
Yeah, I was
okay,
there, man.
Let's talk about some good stuff, man. Let's talk about some good stuff.
Yeah, let's talk.
Yeah.
Lord, we love you.
Let's talk hip hop. Yeah, this is for law, baby. This is for law. This is for law. Hey, you know, you told the story on my show, Bambino, but tell everybody, how your journey came to be and how you came to be signed to Priority Records and how the album dropped. Give us a whole, introduction of how Another Level came to be.
Cool. And can you remind me to go back to the things y'all were talking about in Chicago and we relive that after we go.
Oh, we could jump on that right now if you don't mind, Lons. What you say? Yeah, let's jump into it. Keep it flowing. Shit, we good. We free. We can go.
Yo, bro. Let me tell you something, man. We got to stop glorifying genocide. I see what's behind you, brother Lonzo, with the hood piece. But at what point we supposed to have flying fucking cars, man? It's 2024. We've been dealing with this gangbang thing since it was Bastards of the Party. Since Bastards of the Party, when Bloods were actually policing the neighborhood, and Crips were citizens, representatives, empowering people, society. Back when it meant something that was positive for the neighborhood, before the CIA and the FBI twisted it all around. Now they've created a monster that we're actually fueling ourselves. When you got 6 kids willing to throw their life away to go smoke the op, you're going to spend the rest of your life in jail, growing up in jail, realizing you did the dumbest shit ever that you can never make up for. The prison system is making money off of you. And you get to, like you said, Lonzo, you're going to be around men the rest of your life. You get no more heterosexual sex. You can't drive a car. You don't see your kids. You just lost everything. So at what point can we create a boxing league or something so cats can get them up and then live to fight another day? At what point do we all, I know Nip was trying to do it. I know Nip was trying to really do it, and when they did it back in the day, when we had the peace treaty in the 90s after the riots and shit, the police came to the parks in Compton and broke it up and said, y'all can't come back here no more. And then we went back to killing each other again.
I was there.
At what point?
Lonzo was there.
I was there.
At what point do the people, we gotta, and I hate to say this because I was going back and forth with My Son the General. Y'all hip to My Son? My Son is out of New York. Active. Okay, so it's me and My Son, we had a show. A thing we was doing called Hip Hop Success TV. A friend of mine, great activist brother, but we were just talking about. He doesn't. We agreed to disagree on the fact that artists hold a responsibility in what's happening in these streets, and I feel like artists hold a heavy responsibility because they influence millions and millions and millions of our youth. So whether you want the responsibility or not, you signed up for it.
Bambino.
Indirect.
Bambino, you are absolutely correct. You couldn't be more correct, my brother. And one of the problems is nobody wants to take responsibility for anything. I do me. You ain't got to be like me. No. Anytime you light a match, you're gonna get smoked, baby. And being an influencer is a byproduct of being famous, being popular. So simple as that, Doc. When it's certain things. If you freeze water below 32 degrees, it's gonna freeze.
It's gonna freeze.
So you can't undo that.
Jay-Z and Nas and them don't have no responsibility to this. And all respect to the big homies in N.W.A, everybody holds a responsibility in this, man. And they say, well, they didn't sign up. He said, My Son's response to me was they didn't sign up to be leaders. They signed up to be artists. And I'm like, well, what will Muhammad Ali tell you about that? What would Malcolm X tell you about that? No man can rise above the situation of his people. So you got a responsibility, whether you like it or not. And we support y'all by putting, you know, we buy your music, we go to your concerts, we do all of these things. What are you directly giving back to the communities? Stop the genocide in our communities. How can you be a billionaire who influences millions and millions of people and not hold some accountability on that? And I feel like we got to start calling out names.
Well, you know what?
How do we not start calling out names?
You know what, Bambino? We were talking about something earlier. People go by the numbers. They think as you're a billionaire, that makes you a good person. That makes you a certain kind. That's not true though, dude. Right. $1 billion just make you a person with $1 billion. You still can be an asshole with $1 billion. Okay. And it don't make no matter how much money you got, if your heart is in the right place, it'll never show. It'll never have a positive effect. And the more people, some of these artists like Sexy Red, they're only here for the dollars. If you can be controlled by the dollars, you're in trouble.
Yeah. But I feel like we the people, we support Sexy Red. Well, you got these girls with the little 3 and 4 year old girls in a class dancing in a Drake and
That's
Sexy
horrible,
Drake
bro.
did it. Drake needs to be called out for that, bro. You see these 3-year-olds dancing to your ignorant
drop that
ass.
You didn't make that coochie breathe. The lyrics were drop that ass, make that coochie breathe. Hands on your knees, hands on your knees. Shake that ass for Drake. Come on.
And nobody's calling out Drake. And we so busy celebrating people's financial success, and they morality is trash. Because if you got that kind of money, at what point is it enough? You got to start standing for something at some point. So that's a whole nother subject. I don't mean to turn this into something else.
No, man, you good. You good. You're at the right place. You're at the right place, bro.
You are literally home, bro. Hey, as a matter of fact, let's take this in another direction, Lonzo and Bambino. If you want to know Bambino's story from another level, another with an A at the end, you could just type that in, or go to my channel, Dusty Vision, and type in another level Bambino. You'll get the full history of his story. But I like where this conversation is going, you know, because a few months back, Special Ed made some comments that shook up the industry, where he said NWA, and this is the clip that they ran with. You know, there was a lot behind it, but this is a clip they ran with. NWA brought destruction to hip hop. You know, just going on what we were just talking about, I think that would be a great time to bring that up. What are your thoughts on this, Bambino? On that, Bambino?
Shout out Ed. I just talked to Ed the other day, man. He's in LA. I'm not in LA right now. I'm in St. Louis. I'll be back home Friday. Me and Ed are very close. That's one of my partners, man. He's you know, one of the cats I looked up to in the game, and then we met indirectly in the industry, and we've been friends over 20 years, bro. We dogs. So he did a hip hop alliance with KRS-One, and we were all a part of that with Corrupt. And so, you know, Corrupt and them got at him for that statement, and they cleaned it up. But I know where he was going with that, and I forget the CIA agent's name. I'm gonna look it up in a second, but he admitted that they used NWA to spark more ignorance in the community. They use NWA as like the music that they wanted to kind of be the blueprint for where music was going, because of the agenda that they had to take out conscious rap. So I know what Ed was saying, and sometimes that can be harsh because I'm a proud West Coaster. You see the W. I grew up off Slauson. I know all about the gang culture. But one thing about it, I knew that it was going to be the demise. It was. I was living in it. My homeboy's head got blown off when I was in 7th grade. You know what I'm saying? So I knew that's not where I wanted to go. And I'm seeing it all over. I mean, you know, even the prep gangs, the sex jerks, they were shooting people in high school. People was getting shot regularly. And what were they listening to when they went to do drive-bys? They wasn't listening to Special Ed and Tribe Called Quest.
Or Will Smith.
What they was listening to. We know what they was listening to. And I was listening to it too. I used to argue with my mom and my sister about it all the time, because I was a fan of NWA. This is before we got signed. And I'm like, Mom, I don't go out and want to kill nobody just because I listen to Q. Got the shotgun hanging out my window. But my uncle, my great uncle, owned Target Records in the Crenshaw swap meet. So I went and bought the NWA.
Who's your great uncle?
Kent.
Oh, damn, that's my dude.
Ken Harris.
Ken Harris.
Yeah.
He had another record label too. Another record store.
Go ahead. My grandmother is Dimple Harris.
Okay.
So there, you know, he produced all my grandparents' music, and so anyway, he had the record store, right? You know, he had the one on Slauson and Crenshaw.
Right.
Then he had the one in the Crenshaw, swap. Anyway, I heard Boys in the Hood on K-Day, and I go buy it. I heard the clean version. I go buy the tape, NWA and the Posse, not knowing it was the super, because curse stuff, you didn't really know, like it had the parental advisory, but you didn't know it was going to be that harsh. You knew some Too Short tapes were deep. But anyway, I grabbed the NWA tape, pop it in with Mom, and as soon as it started, she was like, she looked at me. I'm like, I had to be like 9. She looking at me like 9, 10, maybe 10. She looking at me like she snatched that tape and threw it out the window because of the, you know, it was talking about killing and cursing. And she was like, what do you have in common with this? And so I'm like, Mom, I could listen to this and I don't want to go out and kill nobody. But she's like, but still, what does that do to the psyche of your friends and the ones who don't got a daddy in the house that to whip their ass like your daddy will whip your ass when your pants are sagging too low? You know, a lot of your friends don't got the fathers in the home that's going to check them. And so a lot of your friends is gang banging on the low. They smiling at mama, but they got the 9 tucked in the waistline as soon as they leave the house.
Right.
And so growing up around that, I thought it wasn't a big deal. Fast forward to me being a grown ass man, I see just, especially I'm in St. Louis right now. Remember, it's just like Compton.
Yes, there's a whole story behind that.
Summer vacation. Where did Cube go? St. Louis.
St. Louis. Yep. St. Louis niggas want their corner back.
4 gangbangers, professional cracks. My nigga got shot. He's going to black. St. Louis niggas want their corner back. So they was mimicking what we did. You got 60s in New York now. Yes, they ain't never been on 60th. But this thing has grown into a culture that we haven't stopped to say, yo, let's pump the brakes. This shit is out of control. Meanwhile, CIA and them is licking their chops. Them same CIA ops that put this shit together is sitting back watching us kill ourselves right now. And we got all these billionaires and big people in these businesses and these power positions. What are y'all doing? And all of them, I say Cube, Jay-Z, Diddy, when he gets out of the hellhole he's in right now. Everybody holds accountability on this shit. And I'm proud of KRS-One and Special Ed, who you talked about, because they were doing the Hip Hop Alliance and they had everybody on the phone, bro. I'm talking about.
I was there.
Huh?
I was there.
Okay, so the Hip Hop Alliance, you remember the phone call?
Yes, so.
Yep. Okay, that's where we've been seeing each other, because I spoke on the Alliance and we all were speaking, and me and Ed talked a lot about how we were trying to make this thing bigger. I felt like KRS-One's initial message could have unified the whole world into saying our hip hop should be used for voting. Our hip hop should be used for our votes in legislation. We should be one united union to say we're not voting Republican or Republican or Democrat. We independent, and whoever gives us what the fuck we need in our community, that's where our votes are going, period. But how is nobody talking about this shit? And that's why I have a podcast. I want you two brothers to come on when you have a minute. I'm gonna send you the link. It's called WTF. What the movie was what the fuck, but it's blanked out. What the fuck movie is everybody watching? Are y'all watching the same movie as me? Because if you watch the same movie, then we should be fixing this shit while we alive. Rest in peace to Law, and everybody is checking out so we can see the fruits of it while we still fucking breathing.
Yes, sir.
You think? You know what I mean? Shit.
Hell yeah. Hey, pump your podcast up one more time, and you definitely got guests in me and Lonzo. You can count us in, man. We'll get it together offline. But please give Pups, and I want everybody to check his podcast out if you're feeling what he's saying.
Yeah, it's called WTF, and you can find it on Bamino's World. Bamino's World 2126 on YouTube. Subscribe, like, follow me. You'll see WTF episode 1 and WTF episode 2. I'm looking for more guests to come on because I want to change the world while I'm alive.
Get with me offline, Bambino. I have a Rolodex of people, and I'm down to share with the positive message that you're throwing out there. So we'll help each other out, man. Just get with me offline. Real talk.
You got me. I'll be there, Doc. No problem.
All right, y'all ready to walk down this hip hop road? Because we could go on and on that page.
What do you think, Lonzo? How you feel? I'm good if you are. We have 54 people in the building. You want to chill for a little bit and talk some hip hop for about 10 minutes? What you say?
Well, I'm gonna lose one of my links though.
Oh shit! Is it gonna? Oh, it's exactly an hour, right?
Exactly an hour. I'm about to lose it right now.
We'll bring you back on, Bambino. Mark my words. We will definitely bring you back on. Anybody who wants to check his story out, please check it out. Bambino from another level. Thank you, brother. I'll hit you with you offline. All right.
I got you.
All right.